Welcome back to another showdown between Judge Dredd and the Punisher, where we ask the ultimate question: who would win? Before we dive deep into this analysis, please remember to subscribe to the channel to support my work. I thank you very much. Judge Dredd, born Joseph Dredd, is the living embodiment of the law in Mega City 1, a grim, futuristic metropolis teetering on the edge of order and chaos. Dredd is no ordinary man. He was created from the DNA of Chief Judge Fargo, the founding father of the judge system. From his earliest years, Dredd endured a training process so brutal it was borderline pitiless. Every personal emotion was stripped away to make room for absolute discipline and obedience. Dredd does not allow himself to waver, not for compassion, nor for doubt. He acts with cold precision, delivering his verdict right at the scene. No delay, no mercy. The iconic phrase, "I am the law," is more than just a declaration. It is his core essence. It is the absolute conviction that order can only be sustained through strength and unwavering resolve. As a purposefully designed genetic clone, Dredd possesses a physique that far exceeds normal human limits. His strength, speed, and endurance reach near superhuman levels. He can take down opponents with just a few blows, withstand horrific impacts, and survive situations that others simply could not imagine, from massive explosions to deadly plagues or wounds that would surely be fatal. Dredd is also a warrior with a masterfully complete skill set. He uses weaponry with near-perfect accuracy, seamlessly blending it with hand-to-hand combat and sharp tactical thinking. Decades of daily duty in the harshest environments have forged him into an expert at situational control. Dredd's gear also plays a vital role in his fearsome reputation. The Lawgiver handgun is his iconic weapon, capable of switching between various ammunition types depending on the combat scenario, from heat-seeking rounds to armor-piercing or high-explosive shells. Remarkably, this weapon only responds to Dredd's biological signature, ensuring no one can use it against him. Furthermore, the Lawmaster motorcycle is equipped with heavy firepower and superior speed, allowing him to hunt down criminals across any complex urban terrain. Dredd's armor and helmet do more than just protect him from heavy fire. They integrate modern combat support systems that help him observe, locate, and react faster in any situation. However, the most terrifying thing about Dredd is not his weapons or technology, but his unshakable will. He almost never feels pain in the conventional sense, and has never backed down from any threat. His seasoned skills and nerves of steel have turned Dredd into a criminal's worst nightmare. In a world where chaos is always lurking, his presence is like an irresistible sentence of doom. One of his greatest legacies is the Apocalypse War. When the city stood on the brink of collapse during a devastating invasion, Dredd led a counterattack almost entirely alone. He penetrated deep into enemy territory, assassinated War Marshal Kazan, and ultimately made the controversial decision to trigger nuclear weapons, wiping out East Meg 1 to end the war. In Necropolis, Dredd faced a completely different kind of enemy. The Dark Judges, led by Judge Death, were not human, but supernatural entities carrying a philosophy of total destruction. Even when the entire city was transformed into a literal hell, Dredd fought on with resilience, helping to defeat these immortal beings and saving humanity from extinction. During Judgment Day, the threat was no longer limited to one city, but spread globally. Dredd teamed up with Johnny Alpha to face Sabat, a necromancer capable of resurrecting a massive undead army. Dredd's enemies reflect the extreme danger he faces daily. From the Angel Gang with the insane Mean Machine Angel, to Rico Dredd, his own treacherous blood clone, or Chief Judge Cal, a mad tyrant. There is also Orlok, Grice, and countless mutants, robots, and aliens always seeking to break the order. Dredd has even encountered and overcome iconic rivals like Batman in rare crossovers, and survived the Day of Chaos, a plague disaster that killed millions. The most profound thing is that Dredd does not just fight external enemies, he constantly faces harsh moral decisions. Every victory comes with a price, and every choice leaves a lasting mark. Yet Dredd remains steadfast. He is not a hero in the traditional sense, but he is the final shield preventing the total collapse of order. A man willing to shoulder every consequence to ensure that the law is never defeated. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and turn on notifications to see my latest videos as soon as possible. Thank you all so very much. Now, let us turn our attention to the one and only The Punisher. The Punisher, whose real name is Frank Castle, was once an elite Marine serving in the United States Force Recon. But his life took a dark and irreversible turn following a tragedy that could never be undone: the cold-blooded murder of his wife and children during a brutal mafia execution. That single moment did not just steal his family, it shattered every ounce of faith Frank had in the legal system and the concept of justice. From the ashes of that loss, Frank Castle did not choose the path of a traditional hero. Instead, he transformed into something else entirely: a hunter of criminals, unbound by the constraints of law or common morality. To him, the world no longer has any room for tolerance. Crime must be uprooted at its very core, and those responsible do not deserve a second chance. Frank operates alone. No teammates, no support system. He has no faith in the courts, nor does he wait for judgment from any institution. In his eyes, justice failed the very second his family fell to the ground. Therefore, he has taken upon himself the role of executioner, becoming the Punisher in every sense of the word, where the sentence is always absolute. What makes Frank truly terrifying is not just his combat skills or military experience, but his extreme, unwavering resolve. He does not flinch in the face of fear, nor is he swayed by typical emotions. Every action he takes is driven by painful memories and a single goal: to destroy crime at any cost. Frank does not seek salvation, and he does not hope for forgiveness. He accepts his path as a self-imposed sentence, where every step forward leads him further away from what little humanity he has left. The Punisher possesses no superpowers, yet what he does have makes even the mightiest heroes think twice. Frank Castle's physique has reached the absolute peak of human potential, forged through years of elite service. His strength, speed, and durability come not just from physical training, but from a level of discipline and endurance that pushes far beyond normal limits. Frank can continue to fight even when his body has sustained severe injuries, from gunshot wounds to violent explosions. The most frightening aspect of the Punisher is his comprehensive combat mastery. He is proficient in nearly every type of weapon, from heavy firearms to tactical knives and explosives. His marksmanship is near perfect, and when combined with guerrilla tactics and stealth skills, he becomes a true ghost on the urban battlefield. Frank does not just react quickly, he reads the situation and predicts his opponent's every move, once even forcing agile adversaries like Spider-Man into a defensive corner. His equipment is an inseparable part of how he operates. From Kevlar body armor to machine guns, rocket launchers, or grenades, everything is utilized with maximum efficiency. However, the factor that truly sets the Punisher apart is his tactical planning. He can spend weeks, or even months, tracking, analyzing, and planning a single mission. Every move is meticulously calculated to minimize risk and maximize impact. Frank Castle does not fight for fame or noble ideals. He fights for a pain that has never faded, and it is that very pain that fuels him to transcend all limits. In his many encounters with superheroes, the Punisher has proven that he is never outclassed. He has cornered Spider-Man, fought on equal terms with Daredevil, and even used pure strategy to overcome Wolverine. He has pushed the duo of Luke Cage and Iron Fist to their limits, and in one extraordinary instance while wearing the War Machine armor, he was powerful enough to stand against the Avengers themselves. The enemies Frank faces reflect the sheer brutality of his crusade. Jigsaw is a deeply personal rival, a man deformed in both body and mind. Kingpin represents the height of criminal power, while Bullseye is the personification of lethal precision. Then there are others like Barracuda with his near-immortal vitality, the Russian with his overwhelming physical power, and Magnucci with her massive criminal network. Every confrontation is a life-or-death struggle. While Frank Castle's achievements cannot be measured by numbers alone, the reality is that he has eliminated thousands of criminals, from the mafia to dangerous terrorist organizations. He has survived explosions at point-blank range, endured barbaric torture, and still stood up to keep fighting. Even highly trained special forces teams cannot easily take him down. The Punisher does not choose small targets. He aims for criminal systems deeply embedded in society, forces that seem impossible to topple. To him, every bullet is not just a weapon, but a final verdict for a world that once turned its back on justice. In the ultimate confrontation between Judge Dredd and the Punisher, when Frank Castle accidentally sets foot into Mega City 1, conflict becomes almost entirely unavoidable. To Dredd, the Punisher is nothing more than another outlaw, a vigilante who must be brought under control. In contrast, Frank looks at Dredd and sees only the cold, unfeeling tool of a system he no longer trusts. The battle begins with a preemptive strike, a move that is pure Punisher. Hiding deep within the shadows, he opens fire from a distance with a sniper rifle and heavy weaponry, desperate to use the element of surprise to seize the upper hand. However, Dredd is no easy target. Thanks to his helmet's advanced support systems and lightning-fast reflexes, he evades the initial onslaught, immediately striking back with precision tracking rounds from his lawgiver. As the distance between them closes, the combat becomes brutally personal. The Punisher lunges forward with sheer determination, blending tactical knife work and handgun fire to hunt for any weakness in his opponent's armor. Dredd responds with superior strength and direct combat mastery, utilizing ricochet shots and powerful, bone-crushing blows to maintain control of the fight. The confrontation reaches its peak when both men are severely wounded, yet neither is willing to back down even a single inch. The Punisher deploys hidden traps and explosives, attempting to lure Dredd into a pre-prepared killing field. Meanwhile, Dredd utilizes his Lawmaster motorcycle to amplify his firepower, answering with even more direct and overwhelming attacks. Ultimately, Dredd's near-superhuman endurance allows him to stand firm much longer in this grueling war of attrition. Gradually, the advantage tilts toward Dredd. He closes the gap, controlling the distance and unleashing his most powerful fire modes to end the fight or restrain his opponent, strictly according to the legal standards he represents. In summary, Judge Dredd often holds the edge due to his superior physical condition, high-tech gear, and relentless durability. On the other hand, the Punisher remains incredibly lethal through his brilliant tactics and meticulous preparation. If we consider various scenarios, Dredd is likely to emerge victorious in the majority of cases, though it will always be a blood-soaked victory where both men are pushed to their absolute limits. Judge Dredd is stronger and wins the war 8 out of 10 times. What do you think about this battle? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all so very much.